Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to Frost and Fire. So last episode, I had a Mech cluster land, and I promised you some fireworks. I don't know how to say this other than I am so very sorry. I'm not going to fulfill that promise. Or at least I'm going to try not to. I know how evil that sounds, but trust me, it's with good intention. So one of the things I want to do with this Mech cluster is I would like to try to keep all of the unstable power cells for myself. This is challenging. It's actually, I think some of the power cells are going to have to get destroyed. So if we take a look at it, well, I'll talk about that later. For right now, let me focus on getting my farm back and seeded, and having Phoenix finish off the bionic arm that started for Hippie. Those two are going to be important. There's some other little tasks that I need to do. I need to unforbid my north doors and put everybody back on an avoid schedule. My animals are currently on unrestricted hauling schedule. And then Bash here, it's currently making simple meals. But what I want Bash to do is to... Okay, JD, where are you? You're unloading inventory. I want Bash to start making sure that we have pemmican. So here's how I'm going to do that. Right now, we have 281 meat. So I'm going to butcher insects until we have, let's say, 350. And then I'm going to make sure that my pemmican will make until we have, let's say, 120. Because about 150 fits on this bench. And this is going to make sure that our crabs don't starve, because I've honestly been really terrible at that so far. Alright, Gabe is planting the rice. I can turn on the grow light now. JD, once you're done, I want you to prop this front door open so that our maze is, well, a maze again and not a wall. Because if you have a wall, your raiders will just start destroying everything, you know, in reckless retaliation, and I don't want that. I also want 2 more doors right here and here, so that I can easily gain access to my reloading, my reloading shelves. And for that reason, it actually might make sense to have doors here and here as well. Okay, so that's open. Bash is making pemmican for the crabs to eat. Another thing I wanted to mention, which is a little embarrassing because it involves my bad code, oil. So let me explain why there is oil that looks like kibble. So originally, when I was trying to figure out how to stop people from recruiting... Alright, the very long story short, I wanted Reapers to never be able to be recruited. And some of the initial code that I had set up, there was edge cases where they would get knocked unconscious and be recruited. Now, eventually, I wrote some C# code so that they could never be unconscious, that they just, when unconscious, they become dead. But the oil is a leftover for when I didn't have that code in place. So the idea was that Reapers only eat oil. I never even gave oil any sort of texture, as you can tell. But I can do that at this point. So Reapers only eat oil, and there was really no way for the player to make oil. So it was sort of a way to guarantee that Reapers could never be recruited because there was no source of food for them. But now, Reapers never, ever, ever are unconscious, and the oil is just sort of a leftover mechanic that I was trying to use to prevent the possibility of, you know, an accidental Reaper recruiting, whatever. So that's what the oil is about. And, well, the good news is I can just turn the oil into chem fuel, so it's not a problem. It's just embarrassing that I had left it in. But, hey, I can always remove it if I want, now that Reapers never ever get knocked unconscious. Oh, right, we have Gorilla Hunting Bash. Unfortunately for me... JD, could you wake up? Unfortunately for me, because it's not actually a manhunted animal, it's just a hungry one. It's not actually going to trigger any hostilities until I turn it manhunted. But another thing I realized is that my turrets out here are out of position, which, again, embarrassing. Okay, how strong of a shot was that? Let's go ahead and not kill this, this gorilla with any of my auto turrets or anything like that, because I don't need to do it that way. I can just hunt it the good old-fashioned way. Speaking of hunting, I want... So JD, I have queued up an assault rifle, and I'm also going to... Oh, I'm going to queue up 2 assault rifles. I don't know why I would do it that way, but here's the 2 assault rifles that I want. So, assault rifles have really good, a balance of range and damage. Don't shoot from there, that's probably a bad idea. Just go back inside. Once I have a few more... well, actually, all my shooters seem ready. So let's go just do this. Rip the band-aid off. Alright, bye-bye, Grillo. This Grillo... I think it's too prohibitively expensive without me having a second grow area to have 2 gorillas. I think it's just too much food that is earmarked for their survival. And for that reason, even though it wasn't scarred and hypothetically tameable, I'm not going to tame it. In fact, I'm going to immediately butcher it so that my crabs can't eat it. One way to prevent that would be unrestricted hauling should not include this area, but if they're starving, they'd eat it anyway. So JD has started on making assault rifles for my guys. Gabe, let's get that charge rifle, and JD, I'm going to get you a charge rifle too. So I'll have two charge rifles for high pen, high damage, lower DPS, and then 2 assault rifles for lower pen but higher damage, higher rate of fire. You know, sort of the best of both worlds. Now I'm using a little bit of plasteel to make these doors, but I think it's worth it. These doors are going to be really helpful when it comes time to reloading and moving around and that kind of thing. So another thing I would like to do is, once Hippie is ready to go to sleep, I would like to give her that left bionic arm. As a little reminder, the reason why I'm giving her a bionic arm is her pain levels. Okay, so she is resting now. Her pain levels are a little bit too high, and really high pain levels lowers your consciousness, and a lowered consciousness then lowers everything else. So if you take a look at her, she is lower moving, manipulation, talking, eating as a result of her bad arm, because of the pain of her bad arm. Now, she is a masochist, so she should be in a little bit of pain. That is actually ideal, but too much pain starts to cripple and debilitate. So I'm hoping that just the leg scar is the right amount of pain. It's kind of strange, right? The right amount of pain or whatever, but that's the theory. Now, we have bionic legs in quite a lot of our guys here. Gabe could use another one, because he still has 1 bum toe, so I can queue up yet another bionic leg, but I want just JD to work on that, and right now he's making assault rifles. Now, I haven't forgotten about this mech cluster. I would like to try to reclaim as many of the unstable power cells as I possibly can from this mech cluster. which is going to be very, very challenging because some of this... so if we analyze it here, this unstable power cell and this unstable power cell can probably be saved. Because if I clear out the mech cluster before I destroy the auto mortar, I can build walls to protect it. These here probably cannot be saved because I don't foresee there being a way to protect the unstable power cell from being triggered by the mech assembler. And the unstable power cells can't be uninstalled until the mech assemblers are destroyed, but I can't destroy the mech assemblers and not have them then blow up the unstable power cells. So in analyzing this situation, I think what I'll do is an opening volley on this mech cluster here, on this unstable power cell right here, this one right here, to blow up these two buildings and to trigger the whole thing. But for that, my initial volley, I'm going to want it to be, I'm going to want the initial volley to be probably with sniper rifles, just in case there's centipedes that are in this capsule or coming down on this mech drop beacon. So that's sort of my plan for that situation. In the no drugs for pets, smoke leaf is okay, a part of it. Great. No one could argue, and I'll make this argument myself, that it would be very, very wise for me to also have additional turrets back here for protection, but that's just, it's not something I'm going to prioritize at this moment. I'm also going to break down these plasteel doors here and here because I don't need them. I'm only going to get 3/4 of the material back, but that's better than nothing. And then I, as you can see, have moved the doors up so that there's a free movement to resupply between the marble shelf that will have eventually uranium and the slug turrets. So faster reloading. Because in sustained combat, you're going to want that. So I'm not going to try to take out the mech cluster until Hippie is fully recovered from anesthesia. There's no point in going half-cocked. That sounds like a very bad idea. And we still have some smoke leaf out there. Oh, and a party. So party's definitely going to help out with mood. We will be in a very good mood. And here's one of the 2 assault rifles that I wanted to queue up. But yeah, I'm very happy about that party. Hippie, you should attend. There you go. Thank you. Alright, so her anesthesia is wearing off. It's still affecting her, but it is wearing off. I don't think Hippie got much of the benefit of that party. Let's see. 3. Opposed to other people's like 5 or higher. I could also give a throne speech. If I wanted to give a throne speech, I would have to temporarily fire up the braziers. But that's fine. I want to give a little throne speech before I trigger the mech cluster, just for fun. I have a lot of wood, so I'm not that worried about running out of wood because this will last for a whole season or whatever. So I'll give a throne speech in the morning to encourage everybody on their hunt, on their mech hunt. And cargo pods of crab meat. So here's one of the issues. Now that I have 200 more meat coming from nowhere, I'm gonna have to adjust my butcher from 410 to 610. So adjusting this up a few hundred. So I'm gonna have up to 610. So I'll go 750 or 700 for the butchering crab or insect. Sorry, for fowl meat. And before I forget about this meat, let's haul it with the early riser, Gabe, because he wakes up at the crack of dawn. He's a quick sleeper on a really nice bed. And all of the rice is about to be harvestable, so that's good too. Then a meteorite strike of ancient metal right next to the potatoes. Again, another thing that I need to haul at some point, because that's also very important. Alright, I'm going to have a combat supplier too. I don't really know if there's anything I have that a combat supplier would want. I guess I have like Iklas and Pillas, but I can't imagine that that's on a high list of desired weaponry. But whatever, I'll trade with them anyway. Okay, so almost all the meat has been hauled. JD, you're going to get the last of it. And Raptor. We can sell the terrible weapons. They do have a Zeus hammer. Not that I can afford it without selling a whole lot of stuff. Yeah, that's about it. That was what I was afraid of. I could part with some components. I have a lot of components. But I imagine that I'll put those to good use later on. And as a result, it's probably better for me to hold on to them rather than to sell them now and have to either make them or sell them later. Or buy them later, rather. Alright. Gabe, you are going to be heading to the farm to harvest the rice so that we can make meals so that you're not starving. I should get rid of the starvation mood penalties that I have right now before I go on that hunt. Because obviously starving, you know, malnutrition makes you less useful too. But if we take a look at Hippie here and go to her overview, moving 99%, manipulation 108, right? She's a lot better off. And I could fix that consciousness up to 100, you know, 100%, but that would mean removing her scar, and, well, she likes it. And not only does she like it, it makes her better sidecaster, so, you know, that's one of the reasons why I've kept it so far. Okay, so there is all the pemmican for the crabs that came out first, and now our simple meals, which will solve our starvation issues. So I think tomorrow morning will be the time I try for the Mech cluster. That will be the go hour. Okay, there's both assault rifles, both good quality. I was hoping for a little bit better than that. And now JD is going to work on making shells for us. Next up, what do we research? Sterile materials would be good for the research area, and it would also be good for our hospital. But I don't really have a lot of silver, so that's not that necessary. I did sort of mention that charged pulse munitions would be really good. So I think that's the direction I'm going to go. Although jump packs would also be pretty amazing. Maybe I go for jump packs. That is a very handy get out of jail free sort of card. And for that reason, it makes for good investment. This Gabe is just cranking out the uranium. It's boring, but it's needed to recharge all of the uranium slug turrets. Hippie is making the remainder of the smoke leaf, which at some point we will sell or trade or something. Ancient metals is not a very exciting thing to have landed, and we've been getting a bunch of those. It's kind of funny because they're just so useless. Cache of valuables within a masterwork assault rifle, but there's a hostile mech cluster and additionally an unknown threat. Wow, you really know how to spice things up. Probably not something I'm going to do. You never know. Okay, so all of that oil Not all of it. Most of the oil has been converted into biofuel and then turned into shells because I'm making at least 10 shells so that I can keep my mortars primed and ready for fighting. I did say that I was going to go fight the cluster. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to sniper rifles on all of my guys. And Gabe, I think you're going to need to eat a meal first. So I'll wait for Gabe to finish up. Done. Alright, so let's go about here. And then inch our way towards the unstable power cell. That is where we're aiming first. All of my animals should be in the crab zone, where they're safe and protected. And I do have my maze open, so any mechs that want to mess with me, they will have a valid path to get to me. So here's 3 of 4 shooters. And just a little bit closer, maybe about here, and we will we'll have a valid shot on that cell. I have Phoenix and Bash up front just in case I get shot at by, let's say, pikemen, and I need to absorb that shot. So here we go. Alright, they woke up defending the cluster. I still have 3.3 days to deal with this automortar. We did just trigger the unstable power cell, so now I'm going to head back to my base. We have totally annihilated one of the assemblers and a pikeman and the capsule with it. We do have a centipede, which is of little concern. We've dealt with centipedes before, but what I really want to do is I want to outrun these scythers so that they don't really get a chance to slash me up. I think I could probably have stood my ground and shot them traditionally, but I didn't want to risk it, as I have a very heavily invested defense perimeter here, so why not use it? So these scythers, they might bash down one door. I'll have Bash attempt to repair it, but they're not going to get both. And then what you're going to see is you're going to see them come into my kill box and get destroyed. And here comes that centipede. Seeing that the centipede is coming, I'm actually going to cool off my my shooters, so I can deal with the centipede with my snipers, which is going to save me some uranium slug turrets and some trouble. So Phoenix, stand here, and Bash, stand here. Phoenix, how hot are you? You're not? Great. So I'm going to try not to defend myself with use of uranium, because uranium is a lot harder to replenish than steel. So I'm using a reconnect exploit, I guess. I have Bash and Phoenix standing here as valid targets so that the Lancers move forward, and then as soon as they move forward, I'm like, guess what? And I turn on all my turrets and they get shot to hell, as you can see. Alright, all of my snipers got, I sent back indoors so that they could lose their, any built-up heat stroke. And now I'm going to tell everybody to stay close, and I'm sending my snipers out against the centipede. I hope to catch the centipede before it enters the maze. Raptor seems to be going a very strange path. But if it enters the maze, it's fine. I can shoot it from behind. Oh, yeah, that's why it's coming in. Alright, Phoenix. It's time for everybody to stay inside instead. So you can see the centipede's max range. Soon it will be on, you know, I'll be able to shoot it. I'm going to prop this door open so that we don't get stuck, because I don't want to waste any resources taking out this centipede if I don't have to. Oh, yeah, Phoenix, you probably should not be drafted and standing there. Glad you had a shield belt. because that would have hurt otherwise. So here we are, just plinking the centipede from behind. It's going to get pissed and turn around. And if I need to demo the uranium slugs, I could. I could spin up the uranium slugs and shred the centipede. I think instead what I'll do is I'll do the autocannon turrets, so that I save myself some steel, or some uranium rather. And okay, there it goes. Any of these turrets that get damaged a lot, I can always just shut off, and they will retarget. So next up, if I wanted to save this structure, okay, my rice isn't ready to be harvested. What do you guys need? You need, I'm going to give you a fine meal for your fine work. Because they're not done yet. Why aren't you eating on a table? Come on, guys. No, the table's not full. Oh my goodness. Okay, yep, beer's fine. JD and Gabe, I would like you to take out the assembler. And then, Bash, I'm going to unrestrict everybody. Unrestrict everybody. Bash, what I want you to do is try to protect the power cells. So obviously we're going to take out this auto mortar, but I don't want it blowing up anything. So Bash, you are going to construct this wall, so that the unstable power cells aren't blown up. Phoenix, let's have you grab potatoes with Hippie. Where are those potatoes? Here they are. The Raptor will help you as well. So everybody's doing something nice. All right, so my shooters here are just going to punch this wall down. Or actually, I can claim and deconstruct, because this wasn't part of the mech cluster. There we are. And then wait for Bash to finish. JD, you can help out. Actually, 1, 2, 3, and Bash does 4, 5, 6. I don't really care about the gloom lights. Okay, that's done. Just stand by. Actually, Bash, you could probably be... Well, no, just stand there, just in case these sort of trigger crazy. Okay, there goes the assembler. Ta-da! Somehow or another, this unstable power cell survived, and then all that's left is the auto mortar. And we've created walls to protect it from being able to trigger the other unstable power cells. Don't shoot Bash in the butt, guys. Shoot the mortar, please. And then once this mortar's down, it should disable the mech cluster, and I'll be able to uninstall everything. And boom, as designed, the walls held up. Now I can break them down, and all 3 of these unstable power cells are mine, which is a lot of free power to have that I didn't have before. And you did get some explosions. Let's be honest, there was some bang bang boom boom, so I didn't deprive you of the lovely shiny explosions. I just tried to save as much as I could. So the rest of this cluster gets broken down, I guess, as well as this ruin. Why not? Break that down. And at this point, we no longer need an avoid zone. And the unrestricted animal hauling can be put back up here. And this was the last of Redfoot's pursuing mech clusters. So Redfoot is now safe, I guess. But she left us a long time ago. So it's kind of funny. And there you go. A very surgical mech cluster destruction. And I never did the throne speech. Oh man. Well, the cloth bray has a social impact of 10%. Let's see. I thought I researched royal clothing. I did. So coronet is 20, a crown is 20. Top hat is 20, so I could make a top hat for myself. I should be making corsets, honestly, because cowboy hats are only 10%. So let's make a top hat so that Raptor's throne speech is a little bit nicer. So to explain, your social skills, which is these, your social skills determine your throne speech success chance. So Raptor's social impact right now is 126%. With a little bit better hat, he has a higher percent chance to give inspirational, encouraging speeches and a lower percent chance to give uninspiring and terrible speeches. So to try to eke out every little bit of social impact as you can means, it means making the right clothing or whatever, leveling up the skills. That's what's important. Oh, my animals. You are now unrestricted. Go forth and haul. And then JD, when you are done eating, I'm going to have you go crank out that hat. That should be a pretty quick hat. And hopefully I'm not using mercury to make this top hat, so you will not turn into a Mad Hatter. Okay, the smoke leaf joints are done. I only have 4 smoke leaf left, which we will probably ignore for some time. The pets have their own pemmican amount. Some of the pemmican needs to be hauled. And then to celebrate the success of the destruction of the cluster, Raptor will give a speech like no other. It's kind of a joke, because all speeches are basically the same. It's a masterwork hat. Fantastic. Well, all a masterwork does is increase the insulation, which there basically was none. And then, of course, this is a maximize satisfied title of Praetor, which Raptor currently is one, so that's good, I guess. But obviously, he's going to outgrow this hat quickly. So if you take a look, Raptor's social impact has gone up, and his chance for better throne speeches have gone up. So I'm going to give a speech to the throne now. Now, one of the weird things about the speech, you only really need to be there right at the end. So I'm actually going to have my guys do some work. I guess Gabe, because I just picked on him. I'm going to have JD shred the mechs before he has to attend the speech. Because the speech takes a long time, and apparently walking in at the very end gives you all the benefits of the speech. Like a TED Talk. Okay, come on. Inspire us, please. Or at least encourage us. They take a very long time. And it's encouraging. So one of the benefits of an encouraging speech, a Raptor will have a little bit of a mood bonus for giving said speech. So we have a lot of mood bonuses here. We have the defeated mech clusters, which is great. We have the attended party. And then everybody else is going to have the encouraging speech plus 4 for 8 days. But this can cut both ways. As I should probably explain, if it's a negative speech, you'll have, a negative mood for the same amount of time. So, you gotta be careful with them speeches. But the hope here is that we kick our guys up into Inspirationville. As you can see, most of them are very, very happy, having blown up 2 mech clusters, attended a very nice speech. With any luck, we're talking, nice inspirational benefits. Now as things cool down, because we're heading in towards the winter, we are going to be able to do a lot of external construction projects, hauling, that kind of thing. So that's going to be really, really important for us to get done as the weather allows for it. I'm queuing up all the slag to be hauled, but God knows I'm never going to haul all the slag. That's just not a reasonable goal. But I'm just queuing it up so that specifically the pets that are probably doing most of the slag hauling at this point, just haul whatever's around, whatever's closest. We are heading into more temperate temperatures, and as a result, I am also going to unroof the radar. Oh, yeah, unroof the ground penetrating scanner so that we might be able to benefit from that as well. Let's also make sure that simple meals are made of... Okay, yeah, they are allowed to use potatoes. I didn't see that the potatoes were used, but I guess I could have checked the meal stack. So now that I have my kill box, and this is like kill box 1.0. There are some changes I want to make to this kill box, so let's take a look. I have a lot of limestone, so I'm going to use my limestone blocks to design a slightly different defense here. So in the full explanation, and I hope to only give this once, in the full explanation, sappers, when they attack you, they want to attack... They basically attack towards your bedrooms, and they take the path of least resistance. So the path of least resistance is a half-hearted attempt to avoid turrets, but not a full-hearted attempt. It's very, very important that you understand the difference. A full-hearted attempt to avoid turrets means that they would never, ever, ever path into the field of turrets. So let me give you a quick example. I'm going to use the plan here. So let's say this is my bedroom, right? And then my bedroom has walls around it. And then I have external walls, right? Most bases are built sort of like this, right? Where you have your base and then external walls. If I put turrets here, here, and here, that I don't have coverage in the north wall, so incoming sappers would likely, not guaranteed, but likely attack this north wall in coming to my base because I left the north wall less protected than the other ones. One of the weaknesses of sappers is they do not consider deadfall traps as something to avoid. So what I'm doing here is... Oh, sorry, whoever was bringing that over. What I'm doing here is I'm having an alternative route to my base where enemies are going to be able to come to my base and not trigger the turrets. So actually this needs to be a door as well. So what I'll be doing here is having a second maze. This actually doesn't even need to be a door. A second maze that allows incoming sappers to path around my turrets, circumnavigating this area. But it's a trap. It's bait. It's designed to get them killed. So that's what I'm designing right now. This really doesn't need a limestone door. I hadn't fully thought it out. But given the season and how temperate it is and how easy it is to work outside, now's the time to design such a thing. A method to trap sappers. Because there will be Reaper sappers, and I don't want to get killed by them. It's also a good time to break down anything that I might use as walls. So all of this limestone here, Good, very good time to reclaim that. There's also sandstone and marble, but that's not as tough. So I'm going to focus on the walls first. Area revealed. Yeah, that's not really. Bash, keep going. Yeah, okay, there we go. So Gabe. Okay, good. There's no overhead mountain here. Perfect. I didn't want overhead mountain because of the risk of bugs. Another thing that I want to do is to fill up the southern tunnel that I have, so that we don't risk bugs there, because bugs there would be annoying and dangerous. This tunnel here. So that means, you know, just filling it with steel. Removing this steel door. Or actually, removing the roof on this. Yeah. I basically want to mitigate the risk that this area has for infestations, because it is behind my kill box, and for that reason it is a point of vulnerability. And I am about removing points of vulnerability. So here's the concept. The concept is I'm going to have a door here which is quick to open. That can act as a sluice gate. But one what's tough. Maybe not quick to open is wrong. Act as a sluice gate so that if sappers are coming in, I run out to this point here, open this door, and offer sappers an alternative path to my base, where they can get to my bedrooms, and they can bypass my turrets, which also means that I should have a full wall here or something like it, so that there's a valid path for sappers to come in and get to the bedrooms and do me harm. But it's going to be full of deadfall traps or IEDs, one or the other. Sappers will avoid turrets. They do not avoid IEDs or deadfall traps. They're not that smart. So I'm designing a system for sappers only to neutralize sappers. Of course, it's going to be expensive because I think, as you all know, deadfall traps are pricey and they take a long time to reload. So it's not an ideal defense scenario, but it is the best I'll be able to do. Also, all of these doors down here I'm going to replace to plasteel for ease of opening and security purposes, and maybe also make this a plasteel door as well. It's a lot of use of plasteel, but I do have a plasteel node right here that I can mine up once I feel like I have enough uranium. I don't feel like I have enough uranium yet. We have a exotics good trader overhead. I already have, oh, well, stupidly, ah, man, I feel stupid. I have baby crabs, awesome. Stupidly, I have that roof removed, which is really just bad form, because I'm not protected. So I was happy about the baby crabs, because they hatched just now, and I can sell them to this exotic goods trader. And then, oh boy. Chaos skip might be okay. I'd much prefer skip, but I don't have the option to buy skip. And then I guess that's it. So chaos skip, I think, is a level 4 of memory, or level 3 of memory serve. So yeah, let's learn it so that in a pinch, Raptor can skip things around. And Bash and Hippie just proposed. Let's see. Bash proposed to Hippie, and Hippie agreed. Hippie was previously upset because of a rejected proposal. But obviously she's not going to be anymore because they're engaged. So congratulations, you two. So Gabe is cranking away on that uranium, and then soon I will repurpose him towards plasteel. And then the idea up here is to have like a deadfall trap maze that that gets all of incoming enemies killed. But have we... Yeah, so we broke down these walls. We haven't removed the floors up here. That will come at a later date. This is the bionic leg for Gabe. And then after the sapper traps, I'm going to probably invest in a second farm. But that is all the time I have, guys. So I hope you appreciated the surgical destruction of the mech cluster. I know it wasn't as explosive as maybe you had hoped, but it does have me realize that I haven't actually done anything with those unstable power cells, so I'm going to need to utilize them. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. If you'd like to chat about Frost and Fire, or try it for yourself, Rhadamant.com has all the files and links to Discord if you want to chat. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell, everybody.